You're getting about 3,000 Rand worth of value by just entering. And that's whether you're doing a 5K, 10K, 21 or 42.
Oh.
You get your training program. We've got a training program now from Coach Parry. So it's a 12-week training program where you can decide you want to run a PB. You've never run a 5K before. You want to run your first 5K.
On all of the four?
On all of the 4 races.
Okay.
And they'll tailor it to you in terms of what race you're doing. Right, the big kicker is open to everybody, is the opportunity to win an apartment from Balwin. And the mechanism of the competition, you need to go and visit our developments.
So you run the race?
Correct.
Then go visit one of your developments?
You can start now. Even if you haven't entered yet, you can start visiting the developments now. Do one race, one visit is one entry. If you do one race and you visit 2 developments, you get 2 entries. We actually gave away an apartment this year. I mean, the exciting part for this year's 2025 series is that the apartment's now going to be valued at R1 million. So it's going to be a bigger apartment.
Sure.
Again, fully furnished, your 12 months free levy. So you can buy your pair of ASICS shoes at a Total Sports store to a value of 3,000 Rand, and they'll give you a free entry into any one of the distances and any one of the races.
Folks, welcome to this episode of the Runners Podcast with myself, Rotokholo. If you're new to our channel, click the subscription button, follow us, and share our content. And if you are a returning subscriber, we say to you, thank you for supporting our channel. And today, we are going to be talking about the Balwin series that will be taking place in the early weeks of the next running calendar. And with that, we've got someone from Balwin. He's the sales director. I stand to be corrected, but I think he's the sales director of Balwin Properties. His name is Ryan Kalk. Ryan, how are you?
Very good, and you? Thank you for having me. Not the sales director, MD of the Balwin Foundation, joint MD. I used to be the national sales manager, so moved into the foundation now and doing some good stuff through sport.
Thank you for updating my software there. And I'm excited because, Comrades has reached the cap, and now it goes back to us starting to look at the marathons that we need to run building up to Comrades. And I think hence we are here today. Please tell us about the Balwin series.
Yeah, so the Balwin series started this year, 2024. It initially started off in 2023, actually, with the Dolphin Coast Marathon. Our CEO and the legendary Barry Holland knew each other through the Jeppe Quantum Club, where Balwin used to run our charity walk every single year. And when Barry moved down to Dolphin Coast, back home really, he said to Steve, listen, let's do a race, let's get involved, and they did a deal on a handshake, and Steve is always true to his word, and that's what we did. We did a race. I got involved with Barry on the 2023 race, and I saw a great opportunity for Balwin as a company to get involved with the running community. I am a runner myself, a runner. I run.
Yeah.
Not a pro or an elite or anything. I get out and I run. But I participated in the race, and I saw a good opportunity for Balwin to reach a greater community. I enjoy and love the running community, and I think it was great for us to touch a lot of people and to help get people active and outdoors. And I sat down with Barry after the first race, and I said, well, how do we grow this? Balwin's in 4 regions in South Africa, in Johannesburg, Cape Town, Pretoria, and Durban, and we looked at 4 different clubs. We went out and selected 4 clubs that have got they're well-run clubs. They're some of the oldest races in the country, and they've got good development programs as well, which is important for us in terms of our selection. We want to help running development. It's one of our core sports in our foundation, and we are focusing on 5 sports, and we want to get people active and healthy, and especially our residents in our developments, but also the communities around where we are developing in South Africa. All our staff participate in the races, and it's growing. The races are really, I mean, some of them have come back onto the calendar post-COVID, so it's really exciting for us to be involved.
And what other disciplines are you involved in, just for interest's sake?
So we focus on, in our foundation, we're focusing on 3 core pillars. Number 1 being charity, which we've always been involved in around the communities where we are. We're starting up trade schools where we're going to be teaching the local communities around where we are developing the necessary skills that we utilize on our development. So we're upskilling them. We're already using the local community for our developments, but we're now going to enhance their skills and also enhance the quality of the product that we're producing for our clients. So we're teaching them painting, plastering, bricklaying, etc. So we're in the process of setting up those academies. And then the 3rd pillar is our sport, where we're focusing on 5 core sports. Cycling, where a lot of stuff around our developments, specifically at Taba in the south of Johannesburg, where we've got mountain bike trails. Then running, we're doing running there as well. And all the races that we're involved in. We've got soccer. We're starting up in the new year with soccer development in our developments, where our kids that are living there get the opportunity to get soccer coaching once a week. Swimming, we've been teaching kids to swim for many years. We've got beautiful lagoons at some of our developments and swimming pools. Yeah, exactly. But the biggest issue is that a lot of our residents actually don't know how to swim. Yeah. So we've got lifeguards. We're going to be working with Swimming South Africa and Central Gauteng Swimming to upskill and train our lifeguards to become learn to swim instructors, and then train our residents and a lot of staff. I just spoke to one of the ladies in our reception now. She told me she doesn't know how to swim. We're going to teach you how to swim. And then the final sport, the 5th one is paddle, which is the fastest growing sport in the world at the moment and massive in South Africa. And we're going to be focusing on the development side of that. So getting people that don't have access to paddle, teaching them how to play, and hopefully unearthing the next world champion from South Africa. We've got 2 times world champion Willie Lahoz.
Oh yes,
out here.
Yeah.
He's here from Spain, and he's been doing some fantastic work with us. And on the coaching side, we're going to get him to start teaching and identifying kids that we can hopefully take forward. I mean, to tell a story where the previous world champions unearthed the next world champion from Africa is amazing. So hopefully we can get that right.
And just a comment there, I hope I'll get some swimming lessons, because I want to do Ironman, guys.
There we go.
I want to do a triathlon. I want to be involved in that space a little bit. I've been running for 22 years. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and how was the runners turn out at the 2023 Balwin Dolphin? Is it the Dolphin Coast Marathon?
So 2023 Dolphin Coast Marathon, I mean, I stand to be corrected. I think there were about 4,000 to 5,000 runners that were there. We actually brought out a runner from Kenya to come and break the record. Unfortunately, I think he tore his hamstring at about 35 Ks or so. So, but it was fantastic. It was an old route, because the original route is from Belito all the way down to the beachfront in Durban. So it's point to point. But with all the rains and the floods and the damage, they were running from the promenade out to Sibaya, the traffic circle, and back again. And then 2024 we went back to the original route. So it was 2023 was on the older route and the modified route. And back for 2024 and now 2025 we're back to the original route, which is, some people say downhill, but there's some hills there.
It's exciting, and I wish to do. I want to do that one, the Dolphin Coast one. And let's just reflect a little bit on last year. You had the entire series in all the 4 different races. You can start there's no order, but just give us a rundown of what transpired last year.
Perfect. So, I mean, as I mentioned earlier, we looked at clubs that have got a good history. So we'd started with Dolphin Coast because that's where Barry was. It was then easy for us to go to Jeppe because That's where Barry came from, and
Oh,
we've had a
yes,
relationship
yeah.
with them. I've subsequently joined Jeppe now as well, so I run for them. We're busy doing our 10-10
I
challenge
saw
at the
you, yeah.
moment. So I was there bright and early this morning. I don't know about bright because it was still dark. So we started with the Jeppe Marathon, and it's beginning of February. And then last year was a bit of a challenge because the province decided to have 2 races in the same province on the same weekend, so which really is a bit of a negative for the races themselves,
Yeah, I know.
because the races rely on on people participating in the races, and that's how they fund development and give that opportunity through. So when you split that kind of the participation
Yeah,
between
it's difficult.
2 races, you're going to get a split. So there was just under 5,000 runners that participated.
No, but still a good
It's still
number,
it
but
is.
yeah, I understand.
It used to be up at around 10,000, the old race,
Yeah, I
the old
know.
Jeppe race, the marathon. And then Jeppe, once they didn't have a sponsor for I think 2 years, and then there was 2 years of COVID, so it was great to bring the Jeppe Marathon back onto the calendar. So there was a decent turnout, and it went really well, and people were really happy with it. It's a double lapper for the marathon. There's also a 5, 10 and a 21 that you can participate in there. We then went from there down to Cape Town to the famous Peninsula Marathon with Celtic Harriers.
Yeah.
One of the, I think, if I'm not mistaken, the second oldest marathon in the country. So great race. It was the first time I'd done it. Also point to point, running there from Greenpoint all the way out to Simonstown for the 42.
Oh, that's a nice
beautiful.
route.
Beautiful,
Yeah, I
along
know.
the coastline, and really nice. And only when the wind hits you when you're coming out to
Yeah,
Musaburg
I
side.
I
So
know,
it's
yeah.
either in your face or behind you. So
Yeah, I think you can't get away with not getting a wind between. Is it Musenberg to
Musenberg
some?
to
Yeah,
Simon,
I
exactly.
know.
Yeah,
I know that part of.
and that's
of
Cape Town for you.
Yeah.
So you can get all seasons in one day.
Yeah.
But a beautiful race. I mean, that coastline is phenomenal.
Yeah.
And really, that's our most popular race. So that sold out very quickly. Just over 6,000 runners participated in that race.
Oh.
That's including the 21 as well. So 21 starts in Bergfleet. So
Halfway
you connect,
through.
exactly,
Yeah.
correct. So the 42 meets up and joins into the 21 as well.
Yeah.
So they get the elites on the 21 come out first, and then they'll get ahead of the pack, and then the 42 gets to catch up and pick through. So that's phenomenal race that. And then after that we went back to Pretoria, back into Gauteng.
Yeah.
To the Pretoria race, another double lapper for the 42, also boasting a 5, 10 and a 21, plus the 42 marathon. Those 3 races are all 2 Oceans qualifiers as well.
Yeah.
As well as being Comrades qualifiers. Also, really fantastic race. The interesting part there was we had 3,500 people that entered in the last 7 days. So runners don't realise, I think, how much work goes into a marathon and into the race organisation. So from a planning side of things, it's hard for these races to plan ahead. They've got to pay their suppliers, and everyone thinks
the
that these
logistics. Yeah.
exactly. Everyone thinks the race fees are high. But the races aren't making a lot of money out of these things, and they rely on sponsors to get involved. So it was hard for the race at the end of the day to get 3,500 entries in at the last minute.
Did you have the T-shirts though?
We did have the T-shirts, exactly,
yeah.
correct.
Because I think that's one of the things that would come from you. Yeah.
Exactly. So I mean, there's great value in these races as well. I mean, we'll talk about that now. And the final race was actually the Dolphin Coast, which takes place in March. So it's 3 weeks later.
So that's the
bit of a
cream.
break. Exactly.
Yeah.
So it finishes nicely. It finishes in the home of Comrades, really, down in Durban, and the home is obviously in Pietermaritzburg, where the head office is, but in the province itself. And that's again a point to point. So 5, 10 and 21 plus the 42. So you start the 42 out in Belito. The 21 starts at Sibaya the halfway mark there. The 10K starts at Virginia by the airport, and then the 5K on the promenade. So it's a little 5K on the promenade and back. And everyone finishes on the promenade in the amphitheatre. So again, a beautiful setting for a race. You're running along the coastline the entire way.
Yeah.
It's really nice. You start nice and early in the morning. I think 5:10 is the kickoff.
Oh, really?
So it's really early, and you're running in the dark for probably the first half an hour. I mean, it depends how slow how fast and slow you're running, but it's a beautiful race. And yeah, so I mean, in terms of the value, you mentioned the t-shirts. There are race t-shirts for the runners, and it's obviously for early bird. The sooner you get in, the more chance you've got of getting the t-shirts. I know for Peninsula for 2025, the t-shirts are sold out already.
Oh,
on
really?
The free shirts, you can buy shirts.
Oh, yeah.
They are selling shirts, but the value that we've put together for the runners coming in 2025, and we keep adding on every single year, is absolutely phenomenal. You get the race t-shirt if you've come in early. This year you get your race photographs. Everyone gets your race photographs for free.
Oh yeah,
So
I think let's talk about the incentives that come with the Balwin series in all of them. So.
Yeah.
I just mentioned the race t-shirt because I mean most of the race we do get t-shirts, but let's talk specifically about the Balwin. What are the race incentives?
So, I mean, on the incentives, what I said to the race directors is like when you run a race and being a runner, you know these things. Everyone wants the race t-shirt.
Yeah.
They want to know that you've participated in something. And a lot of the races these days, it's expensive for them. So they've cut you can buy the shirt, you can buy your medal, you can buy your photos, etc. We've thrown that all in. We're giving the runners that value back. You're getting about 3,000 Rand worth of value by just entering. And that's whether you're doing a 5K, 10K, 21 or 42.
Oh,
So
there's a great incentive,
exactly. So you get your training program. We've got a training program now from Coach Parry. So it's a 12-week training program where you can decide you want to run a PB. You've never run a 5K before. You want to run your first 5K.
On all of the four?
On all of the 4 races.
Okay.
And they'll tailor it to you in terms of what race you're doing. Coach Parry's also going to be doing podcasts for the people that have entered the races, including with Mark Wolf from 32GI in terms of the nutrition based on double lappers and whether it's
single
point to points exactly. So that'll be that's a fantastic incentive. I mean that alone is close to 2,000 Rand in value. You've got your race T-shirt like you've mentioned. All the finishers will get a medal. It's a beautiful medal. It's race specific. There's a goodie bag as well. So a goodie bag really, and we want it to be the goodie bags we've done this year are recycled, made from recycled material.
Oh,
so
nice.
it's fully recycled. It's green. We want runners to be green and clean.
Yeah.
And look after the environment. So the bags are hosting and can hold up 60 kilograms in the bag as well. So it's a drawstring bag, and the product that's going in there is it's useful product. So it's not like something that you're just going to go and throw away when you open up the bag.
Yeah.
Over and above that, you've got your race photos. So everyone's getting a race photo. Your race photos that are done. There is a partner coming on board. I'm not going to mention it yet because they haven't finalised it, but it's really exciting for that. So. And I can't think. I think I've covered everything.
No, you haven't. There's a big one that I want you to cover.
Oh, we're getting there. That's
I don't want to mention it. It has to come from
no,
me.
that's fine. So
because I don't want people to be holding me accountable to say, "Hey, you are the one who promised us."
Yeah, well, that's the big kicker, and you're 100% right. The big kicker is open to everybody. Is the opportunity to win an apartment from Balwin.
When you say everybody, tell us who is everybody.
So anyone who participates in the races.
So be it the 5, 10, 21 and 42?
Any one of the distances in any one of the races. If you've participated and finished the race, you stand a chance to win an apartment. And how that works and the mechanism of the competition, you need to go and visit our developments.
So you run the race?
Correct.
Then go visit one of your developments?
You can start now. Even if you haven't entered yet, you can start visiting the developments now. And the reason I say start now is, we want people to enter early because the sooner you get in, the more chance you've got of getting your T-shirt and making sure that your goodie bag is available because the stocks are limited. But you can start visiting our developments from now because we can record it. Our system is able to link your race and your visit to the developments into a competition. So if you've run one race, whether it be the 5K, and I'll tell you about last year's winner shortly, but even if you've done a 5K or you're planning on doing the 5K next year, go and visit any one of our developments. Do one race. One visit is one entry. If you do one race and you visit 2 developments, you get 2 entries.
Oh.
So it multiplies. And if you've done 2 races, so if you run Jeppe and Pretoria, if you live in Johannesburg, and you've gone and visit 2 developments, you can now get 4 entries. So it multiplies each time.
Oh, yeah.
So the more developments you visit and the more races that you participate in, the more entries you're going to get into the competition. You can't just run the race and go into the competition.
Yeah.
You have to go and visit our developments.
Oh, I see.
The reason we want people to visit our developments is a lot of people see our billboards and they see our signs and like, oh, Balwin. No. I want people to experience the lifestyle, what it's like to be in a Balwin development, because we're all about our residents. We build everything around what residents would need in a development: sports facilities, gyms, restaurants, laundromats, etc. Even some of them have got schools as well, Montessori
nice.
schools. So the opportunity for people to live in an estate, in a security estate, and it's tailored to the South African market, which is fantastic. Really, we want people to see that, and you don't see that by driving past a billboard or driving past the outside.
Definitely. I know there's a Balwin around Waterfall, and I saw when I was running one of the racing, or even during my training, and I just saw Balwin, and
exactly. We've got 3 developments there.
You see, I never entered.
That's where the big lagoon is.
Yeah.
Munyaka has got the Crystal Lagoon. So it's phenomenal. There's a running track around the lagoon as well. So for runners, it's the perfect place to be, because you can be active within your estate.
Yeah.
Taba, as an example, you can go and run on the trails at Taba. So the sports centres are there. We've got 6 paddle courts, 2 soccer fields, a basketball court, skate park, etc., and the running and cycling tracks,
very good.
which is great. So, I mean, like I mentioned earlier, there's the lady that we everyone says, well, Balwin's not going to give away an apartment. We actually gave away an apartment this year. The lady participated in our 10K race at Dolphin Coast Riders. So she didn't do a 42, she didn't do a 21, she only did 10Ks. And the lady that won it is a school teacher from KZN, doesn't own property. She now owns an apartment at our development, Green Creek in Pretoria.
Nice one.
Valued at 800,000 rand, fully furnished. Came with 12 months free levies as well. That's a big kicker. Exactly.
Big one, yeah.
And I mean the exciting part for this year's 2025 series is that the apartment's now going to be valued at R1 million. So it's going to be a bigger apartment.
Sure.
Again, fully furnished, your 12 months free levy. So we're upping the game. We see the value, and we've seen the return in terms of our brand getting out there and people getting excited about affiliating themselves with Balwin. So it's really working nicely.
And what is the incentive of runners entering early? Because, sometimes we leave it to the last minute, like you mentioned, with the Balwin Pretoria last year. And, personally, it has been my favorite. I don't know how many I've run before, but I know I ran Balwin, I used to run the Pretoria Marathon. And I normally enter early because I wanted the T-shirt. So that for me, it was was the incentive to say, I enter early, I get a T-shirt. Is there any incentive for runners entering early?
So the first things first is that the T-shirts are limited. So if you
limited to what number?
So each race is different. So Peninsula, for example, they're 75% sold out on their race entries, and that's on a 7,500 cap. So their race, they only had 2,000 shirts available.
Oh, I see.
The other 3 races have got 4,000 shirts available, but we reached 4,000 runners last year. So if you run your 10, 21 and 42, you get the opportunity. It's not the T-shirts aren't for the 5K. You could probably, I'll find out, but I'm sure you could probably purchase from the clubs if there's space, if there's stock available. But it does run out. The big kicker is the 12-week training program from Coach Barry. That expires, and it's only limited to people that enter by the end of December. What's also great is that some of the races, and it has expired on some of them already because they finished at the end of November, but you can pay 50% of your race entry fee now and the balance by the end of December.
Oh, so you've got the 2 payment system.
Exactly, correct.
Nice.
And the reason we've done that is because you've got 2 oceans, you've got comrades, and you've got all your qualifiers that you want to start registering and paying for. It becomes a lot of money. Money's tight at the moment, and not everyone's got the money to participate in these races and just pay for everything up front. Our races, the prices have actually stayed the same for this year. So we're giving runners the opportunity to get in so that you can actually secure your T-shirt and secure your training program and ensure that you make your payments over a split period.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just talking from a runner's point of view that I've never run a program before. I'm a self-taught type of a runner, and another thing is that I think if you enter early, if you plan your calendar early like this year, and you've got a program, I think it's a plus because you are now tied to a race that you want to run, and you've got a program to execute. I think that's a good incentive that you've put in place.
So it's great as well, and also it's coming up to December now. People start thinking about next year, like you say, in terms of their planning. But it becomes the new year, and it's like a new year, new me. People want to get healthier, get fitter, and that's the plan. So even if you've never done a 5K or 21 or whatever distance it is, and you want to give it a bash, try it out. This is the perfect opportunity, because you've now got a training program that you'll select what your goal is, whether it be a specific time, you want to run a PB, or you want to run challenge yourself to your first distance. Then this is the perfect opportunity for that, because your program will now be set for you over December and over the festive season. You've got something to train towards. I'm very much like you. I've never used a training program before. I know I've got to get to a certain amount of Ks before I run Comrades.
Yeah.
And you know what you need to do. I think it's an amazing opportunity to have a coach of the caliber of Coach Perry. I mean, he's the official Comrades coach at the end of the day, to give you that ability to learn and understand what needs to be done.
Yeah, and that incentive, it's only up until if you register before end of December.
Exactly.
And I think most of us in December, it's time for bonuses and stuff like that. So I think it's worthwhile registering for.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. I think it's fantastic. I mean, we've really made it easy for runners to enter the races. You can enter on 3 different platforms: peak timing, race pass, and web tickets. So you can even go into your local pick and pay store and go and enter, or the other. I know Race Pass uses a number of stores as well. So the opportunity. There's no excuse. If you are doing Two Oceans, or you are doing Comrades, or you just want to challenge yourself to your first race, get out there and join one of these races. The value's there for the runners.
And the programs that are available with Coach Perry, do they start from couch to 5K,
Correct.
10K,
Exactly.
21 and foot? So it caters for all the distances.
Exactly. So you'll set your goal, and then they'll coordinate that with you.
Nice. And I think it's a very good initiative.
Look, as I said up front, I think it's very important for us that we want to be involved with running, because I think it's a fantastic community, and it's a lot of different people from different walks of life. And I mean, I've seen all shapes and sizes, all colours, religions. It breaks down barriers, and that's what sport does. It breaks down those barriers. So it gives us that opportunity to talk to the nation. And we believe that our community itself is that the running community is a Balwin community, and if we can, through our partnership with the races and with our other partners, I mean, we've brought in some fantastic partners into the series that they're there to help and grow. And really, what we want to do with our partners is provide more value to the runners. And the more value we provide to the runners, I mean, we give away ASICS shoes, we're giving away Garmin watches. We've got a company that Bidolfs is helping us with transporting for the races. We've got Medi Response that are now doing all the first aid for the races.
Oh, nice.
It's helping. What we want to do is we want to help the races save money where we can, but also add value, because the more value that there is for the runner, that they're going to want to participate in that race, which adds value to the development of the club. You can buy your pair of ASICS shoes at a Total Sports store to a value of 3,000 Rand, and they'll give you a free entry into any one of the distances in any one of the races.
Any race, not limited
in the Balwin series. Any race in the Balwin series,
series.
And any distance. So if you want to run a 5K or you want to do a 42, you're going to buy your shoes anyway. Go buy your shoes at Total Sports. And buy your ASICS at Total Sports. You get your race entry. You get a promo code, and you enter. And it's a free entry courtesy of ASICS, which is, I mean, I think a phenomenal opportunity. We've done some Garmin giveaways already, so we're doing monthly giveaways where. If you entered in the month of October, we gave away 4 Garmin watches. There was one for each race.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I need to upgrade my Garmin. So
if
there's still another competition, I'll definitely.
Well, there's another opportunity with Garmin as well. Is that if you enter the Balwin series, any one of the races, any one of the distances, you get a 25% discount from Garmin on their website. On
nice.
The Forerunner series. So it's another fantastic opportunity. We've done a Medi Response. They do a specific panic button range, which is also great. So participating. I think that was the month of September we did that. And then next month we are doing an ASICS giveaway, head-to-toe giveaway, one for each race as well. So
I'm looking
you
forward.
can be kitted out fully in ASICS, which
I'm
will be
an
amazing.
ASICS rider, so yeah.
There we go, me too.
Yeah. And which of the races should we expect to see you?
Running. I'm participating in, last year I participated in all of them.
Okay.
This year I'm a Jeppe member, so I can't do the Jeppe race. I'll still be there.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting for the dispensation from the race club committee to allow me to run, but it's fine. I'm going to volunteer. I think it's important, and I mean it's a massive thank you to the volunteers that help out at all these races as well, because these races don't just happen.
And anyway, your parting shots now that the entries are open. And yeah, we're looking forward to a Balwin series next year. What are your parting shots?
I really would like people to really get involved and go and enter as soon as possible. If you set your goals now and you get your training program, you've literally got no excuse. If you haven't done a 5K before, get out there, get fit, get active, get healthy, and Coach Perry will take you through there with the training program. So that's really what I want. I want to see more and more people getting involved. Bring their families down. Even if you're going to go and walk the 5K or walk the 10, do it, whatever it is. Just be there on the day. Enter now. Enter as soon as possible, and let's get going.
Thank you for your time. That brings to an end our conversation with Mr. Ryan Kalk from Balwin series, and we thank him for allowing us time to talk about the Balwin series. And we're here at GB Quantum for the GB Marathon. So stay tuned. We're going to talk to the race organizer. We are here with Bruce King, who is the Balwin Sport GB Marathon. He's the race director. How are you, sir?
I'm good, thank you.
It's good to see you and meet you. And just tell us a little bit about the upcoming GB Marathon.
Okay, so I mean, Jeppe Marathon's been around for a long time. Runners that have been around would know it. We've been on the calendar for 35, 36, 37 years. I can't even remember anymore. It's been under different sponsorships over the years, but obviously at the moment we're with Balwin Sport, which is a marvelous sponsorship. It's a 10-year agreement that we've got in place.
Oh,
yeah,
that's nice. Yeah,
it is. Yeah, so the 4 races in the series, we all big races in our provinces and in our areas, and with a sponsor that's put commitment to 10 years, it's great for us, and we're looking forward to the second year of the series.
Let's just take it a little bit where it started. Barry Holland is one of the founding members of this club. Just tell us a little bit about the history of the club and how Barry Holland got involved.
Okay, so good time back. The Jeppe Quantum Sports Club was established as a sports club based on the Jeppe High School for Boys, all the old boys. It was an old boys club, and there were many sports. And at the time that Theo Jackson and Barry Holland, these guys got together and they said, "Oh, we need to start an athletics section." And so was the birth of the Jeppe athletics section within Jeppe Quantum Sports Club. Yes.
The upcoming race, just tell us a little bit about the race itself, the entry fee and so forth.
Okay, so I mean we've got the marathon, 21, a 10 and a 5K, as do most of the races in the series. The marathon is I think it's 380 rand. The half marathon is 300 rand. The 10K is 180. And the 5K is 80 rand. Bearing in mind with your entry fee, there's a goodie bag, there's a medal, there's a free T-shirt. You're wearing last year's T-shirt from the Pretoria Marathon. Our T-shirts are always bound together essentially. So last year's T-shirts all looked and felt very similar but different. The same this year. The T-shirts all look and feel the same but different. That's included in your race entry fee. So once you've entered, all of that's included. Then you've obviously got out en route. There's the water points. There's medical. There's the backup. It's runners often look at their entry fee and they're a little hesitant sometimes. But when you enter the Balwin Sport races, you're getting value for money. You're not going to walk away feeling like you paid a lot of money and you didn't get a quality event. So yeah, I think runners will be suitably happy with the spend.
And tell us about the race. Does it have a entry cap or of how many runners?
Yeah.
Depends on the distance that you're doing.
So yeah, so we've essentially capped entries at 6,000. We're trying to build the races back up to the level they were at pre-COVID. This event, the Jeppe Marathon, was close to 10,000 entrants pre-COVID years, and we've obviously taken a bit of a knock since then. But with Balwin's support and that sort of thing, we're slowly moving towards that number again. This year we've capped it at 6,000, but there's always a little bit of wiggle room, as we all saw yesterday with Comrades. They closed entries, and a week later they've opened 1,000 extra entries.
And the 2 hours. Within 2 hours, they were all gone.
Correct. So you know what? I think we have capped it at 6,000. If we get to that 6,000, that'll be marvelous. And if there's a need, we can always look at it. But we're spreading that across the distances. That 6,000.
And for the logistics of the race, are we still going to send out school?
Yes, correct. Sahiti. So
yeah.
Correct. So yeah, we do. With the race will be run and starts and finishes at Sahiti School in Senderwood, correct, which is just up the road from Kwandam, our club. You actually run past Kwandam on the route twice if you're doing the marathon, and once if you're doing the 10 or the 21. So we're close together. We have a nice relationship with the school. In fact, our 5K fun run is actually called the George Bezos 5 kilometer fun run. Everybody knows George Bezos, advocate George Bezos. So he has a long history and had a long history with Sahiti School, and together with the school, we've combined with them to give him his name a place in our race, and hopefully we can build on that. They're also the charity of choice for our event, and so if you enter and you choose to add a little bit of money to the charity, it goes to the George Bezos Scholarship Fund, which is a development fund for children that obviously can't afford to go to Sahiti but get scholarships, which is always very nice.
Tell us about the race amenities on the day, the parking at the school, and we want to feel safe when we come to, because I think safety is of utmost importance and so forth.
Correct. So I mean, that's one thing that we pride ourselves on. We don't skimp on security. We don't skimp on medical. So we spend a lot of money on a security company that specializes in the security. So when you come, you get to Jeppe. There's obviously limited parking within the school property, but outside of the property, there's plenty of parking facilities. If you go to our website, there's parking plans there where you can find additional parking. But we do have paid security, together with your car guards that we often see at races. We bring them on board and pay them as well to assist. We give them accreditation. They have bibs. That way one knows who's an accredited guard and who is an informal fly-by-night who might tackle your car when you're not there, and we don't want that. As a race, we've not had any incidents for many years since we've brought in security, and so I like to think your car is safe out on the public roads where you park, and we do our best to secure it. Like I say, parking's always an issue. Don't leave it until the last minute to get to our race. There is limited access routes into the venue or to the venue vicinity.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you need to get there early. Don't think you can arrive 10 minutes before the start and you're going to get a parking on the start line. Unfortunately.
Can we enjoy Bahrain and the gazebo after the race where we can unwind and because it will be in February it's very hot.
It is. So you talk about the heat. We've actually moved our race start earlier to 5:30. Traditionally, our races always started at 6 o'clock.
It used to be 6 o'clock,
100%. So this year, or 2024's event, after the event, we did a survey and asked what we could improve on, and one of the big factors that came out of it was runners asking us to start half an hour earlier. We've listened to runners, and the time is now moved to 5:30. I have to wake up a little bit earlier now, but it's one of those things. And on the field, we encourage clubs to come and set up their gazebos on Saturday. From sort of 10 o'clock-ish, they're welcome to come through, set up their gazebos, drop off their goods, and then on the day to enjoy themselves. We do have some public catering and that sort of thing. Open fires, and it is a school property, so open fires are not allowed. But clubs and runners are welcome to bring gas cookers with and that sort of thing, and to enjoy themselves. Yes, it's a lovely facility. If you've been to Sahiti School, it's green grass. Hopefully we receive some rain in South Africa. And then that grass was green for us again.
I've run it back in the day, and I have a white T-shirt. I wouldn't mention. I think it's the 2017 white long sleeve T-shirt.
Yes.
And I usually, when I do my weekend long runs, just building up to comrades in April, May, when it's cold, I usually put that on, and it reminds me of the race.
Yes, we always used to do those long sleeves. Yeah.
Do you know the elevation of your?
Not off the top of my head. It's not huge over the full course of the race. It's a testing double lapper if you're running the marathon, but it's forgiving. There's some nice flat sections. There's some nice shaded sections. There's one or two nice pulls as well, but it wouldn't be a marathon in South Africa if you didn't have a pull or two.
Because you're preparing for comrades,
100%.
You need to be ready to meet such
that's it, 100%.
circumstances.
And we've brought on board a good couple of water point sponsors, so there'll be a nice atmosphere out on the route. So come out and enjoy Sunday. I think it's just Sunday the 9th of February in Bedfordview in Edenvale.
Hopefully, I'll join the dry run, which I will do half the marathon. Then I'll do the full one on the day.
Lovely.
Thank you.
100%.
The race director for the Pretoria Balwin Series Marathon. And his name is Graham. So Graham, please take us through. Just tell us a brief background about the Pretoria Balwin Marathon.
Well, Ratokolo, thank you so much for the invitation to talk about this race. It's a fantastic event, and we've been running this for 30 odd years now. And as we come up to this one, we are privileged to be part of the Balwin sponsored series.
Yes.
Because this enables us to position this marathon where it should be. The Comrades is one thing. It's an amazing event. But the marathon, in my view, is the king of distances, because it takes a lot out of you to do this, but not so much as a Comrades. And to achieve a marathon is fantastic. So we feel that the Pretoria Marathon is a very special one because it's got character. It's got a lot of character. It's not flat. It's not boring.
Yeah, definitely.
It's the opposite.
I've run it several times, so
Then
I
you
know
know.
the course very well.
Then you know.
Yeah.
So we try to say to people who run this, you're going to have an amazing experience. You're going to have a different experience, a very special experience, because you've got uphills, you've got downhills, you've got colorful neighborhoods, you've got the fantastic route that goes through the Pretoria High School with its historic buildings. And then you get to finish on one of the best grounds in Pretoria. And when this ground is all set up for the race, it's an amazing experience, because we've had up to 10,000 people here. And it's a great festive buzz. Very special.
Yeah. What can we expect let's start with the registration, because I know the registrations are now open. Tell us about the registration and the prices, the incentives that comes with this race.
Each year that goes by, Balwin are adding more and more to the goodies that come with this race. So if you think, yeah, you're going to pay a fee to run the marathon, but firstly, we've held the fees the same as last year. So there's been no increase in those fees. We have managed to persuade Balwin to carry on with their apartment, their free apartment that you win or can win. So that is one of the big prizes. Pretoria Marathon has added something extra as well. So we have, for the runners who come from far, we have a sort of a sleepover arrangement. So we will have mattresses out here to accommodate people who want to come and spend the night here. Then for people who are struggling with cash flow, because you've got to pay for comrades as well as this race, we have a split payment plan. So you can pay over 2 installments. But apart from that, you've got prizes. Garmin are sponsoring, ASICs are sponsoring, 32GI are sponsoring. And then we've got smaller sponsors who help with the logistics. That's Bidulfs, the transport company. We have Subaru, who have the motor vehicles. They do the lead vehicles. And so we've got a lot of people who are interested in this race. Yeah, so that's it in a nutshell. Entries happen, they're open at the moment, so you can go online and buy an entry. But we also have entries available up until 2 days before the race starts. And those are all online. We have some manuals open on the morning of the race, but that's for the 5K.
Yeah. And then tell us about the prices for the race. But before we do that, let's turn around and let's show the crowd.
Money. Well, we have about almost 100,000 Rand in prize money for this event. And the runners who are in the 42K elites stand a chance to win 10,000 Rand for the first prize. And that's whether it's a male or female, we don't distinguish. And then, of course, that drops down in scale from there. But the main prizes are 10,000 Rand cash each.
And what can the runners expect on the day in terms of entertainment, the amenities? Because I see you've got a nice club here, and I know in the surrounding there are nice, beautiful places to dine, obviously after the race. And yeah, can you please tell us about that?
We're making a big push to attract clubs. And one of the ways in which we can bring them here is to say, we've got fantastic amenities. So as you've said, we have the bar here, the bar and the kitchen, so they will be open on race day. So we've got all of those facilities in the neighborhood as well. We have a lot of restaurants in the village area. Linwood Galleries, a newly open space, has got restaurants as well. So there's a lot to offer. But Phobians has always been well known for the way in which it hosts clubs here on this beautiful ground. So we don't have a problem with people coming, and after the race their club puts up a braai and has a picnic after the race. We encourage that because getting together after an event is, as you know, it's a wonderful experience. It's a way to bond.
And even waiting for those back runners or those who are coming just for training, because I know this race offers a good training to gear you up for your comrades, because
That's right.
it's challenging mentally and physically. So I mean, there are those who are not going to be running their best time here, but they will be running, training, and those back runners, they can. How long will you allow clubs to stay here for after the race?
They can stay here until nighttime. You know, they can spend the whole day here because it's a wonderful occasion. If you've run 42 Ks on a challenging course, then you want to relax, and you want to relax with a couple of beers and have a braai, and we don't chase people away.
Yeah. And then just in closing, let's talk about the entries, because you would want runners to enter early because there are incentives to the early birds. So what are some of the incentives for the early birds? We are now in beginning of December, and I've heard of the Coach Perry program as an incentive if you enter before. Are there any more for specifically for
Well,
this race?
Yes, the Coach Parry program is a massive incentive because it's bespoke. That means it's directed, it's aimed at people who want to run this 42. So it's been tweaked by Lindsay Parry to match the terrain, the elevation, and the hills. And that had closed, that was the early bird up until the end of November, but we have persuaded Lindsay Parry, Coach Parry, to extend it to the end of December. So if you enter now before the end of December, you get that free Coach Parry training program, which is a great help. Apart from that, we've split up the payment, so that split payment system is open until the end of December. So we would encourage people to come along for those too.
Yeah, tell us about the parking on the race day.
This is perhaps one of the biggest issues that runners seek safety and security about, because their car is valuable, themselves they are valuable, and we take that very seriously. So we're working on a new program which we hope to roll out by the end of January, which will involve a process of a guaranteed parking space, possibly in the Menlyn Shopping Centre, and then a shuttle or taxi from Menlyn Shopping Centre to the race venue, so that runners will feel secure. Apart from that, we have special dedicated parking both here at the club as well as in a neighbouring park, and we can accommodate a lot of vehicles. We are thirdly working with the community who are in the surrounding areas to make their spaces available to runners as well, because we feel that the relationship between the running club and the community is very important to make sure that they're not upset by the runners parking on their pavement.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Krab.
Thank you,
It was a
Ratapolo.
pleasure coming here and being welcomed. And I think even the weather today, it just said yes, go to Pretoria. It's not hot today.
Yeah.
And thank you for hosting
All right.
us.
Thank
We will
you.
see you. I'm definitely running 42 on this one, and I'm looking forward to
Excellent.
this one.
I'll be at the finish line to welcome you over.
Thank you.
All right then.
Hey, Tara.
Cheers. Okay.
Hi, I'm Barry Holland, Race Director of the Balwin Sport Dolphin Coast Marathon. Now, our unique selling proposition, our USP, is exactly what you can see behind me. The Indian Ocean. More importantly, the magnificent Dolphin Coast. Our race has a history of over 35 years now, and in fact was in the old days called the Indian Ocean Marathon. Nowadays, under the banner of Balwin Sport and Balwin Properties, we are part, of course, of the Balwin Sport Marathon series, consisting of our KZN leg, the leg down in Cape Town, one up in Joburg, and of course in Pretoria as well. So what is unique about our race is that we run next to that magnificent ocean all the way from Ballito down to Durban. The 21K starts at Sibaya, this casino, and goes down onto the M4 as well, and finishes down in Durban as well. 10K starts in Durban North at Virginia, just close to the airport, and then also goes on to the M4. And the 5K just runs up and down the promenade from the finish venue, which is the iconic amphitheatre in front of the Elangeni Hotel, right on the Durban beachfront. And in fact, the last 2Ks of all the races is run down the promenade. The 42 is at a cost of 450 Rand, the 21 is at 300, the 10K at 200, and the 5K at 100. Prices very, very much related to costs of marathons today in South Africa. And we believe we give the runners a tremendous amount of benefit. There is an absolutely fantastic race shirt. With our race that's limited to 4,000, the first 4,000 entries get the race shirt, but it really is a truly remarkable race shirt, fantastic design, wonderful quality, and much loved by the runners. Of course, there's the normal medal. We are changing our design from last year to the 2025 medal, will be a new design. And then, of course, there's a wonderful goodie bag full of lots of interesting and good things. And then tremendous amount of added value as well in all of our support sponsors, our co-sponsors. For example, we have a sponsorship with ASICS, with 32 GI, with the likes of Medea Appliances, and so forth and so on. The race comes right down the M4, which is closed for the day, full road closure of the M4. Our water points are known throughout South Africa, for that matter, as absolutely first class. They are the top of the top water points in South Africa. In fact, they would hold their own internationally as well. And of course, the real big one, is that Balwin put up one of their apartments, fully furnished. The apartment in 2024 was won by a young lady who ran one of our 10K race. So it's real, it happens. I know a lot of people last year said, they can't believe this is going to happen. Who's going to give away an 800,000 Rand apartment? Well, we did. And it was splashed on social media. I'm sure a lot of you saw it. But it is real, and it's happening again for 2025. An 800,000 Rand apartment, which is going to be very special indeed. So don't hesitate. Get entries in now to for the Balwin Sport Dolphin Coast Marathon. Remember, you want one of those wonderful race shirts. Only the first 4,000 entries get a race shirt. And we look forward to having you with us. Thank you.
We say to you, like, subscribe, comment, and you can comment and tell us if there's anything that you want maybe Balwin to improve on, or to tell us about your experience in the past Balwin series. And I think they will be happy to get feedback and improve where they need to improve. And we say to you, thank you for watching to this point. We love what we do and do what we love. Sharp, sharp.